Hey everybody, it's Talks from Crits Happen. Thanks for watching and welcome back. We're here with another Critical Kicks video where we take a couple of games that I've recently backed and received on Indiegogo or on Kickstarter and talk to you about them, get your opinions, let us know if we're right on and these games are awesome, or if you think that we're crazy, and that's usually the case. So, as you can see, we're still having some problems with the video. I apologize, we're using the laptop and the embedded camera here. Technical difficulties are abound with the Canon T3i Rebel, and we will hopefully fix that and get that back in working order here pretty soon. So I have one small game and two big games that I want to talk to you about today. The first game is a game called Strife, Legacy of the Eternals. Now, this is it. It's in this nice little tin, and it's a little deceptive. It says on the back, 2 players, 60 minutes. This is really probably more like a 40 to 45 minute game once you understand it. Strife is really, really cool. As most of you know, because of my background and what I do with Arcane Wonders, I love 2-player strategy games. Mage Wars is my favorite game, hence why I went to work with Arcane Wonders. And I love games like Pixel Tactics. I think Pixel Tactics is beautiful. I love games like Jaipur, or Hyper, or Hypure, or Jaipur, or however you want to pronounce it. The gem trading game with camels. I love that game. I really like Pagoda from AEG. I think that's a really good game too. But Strife is quickly becoming my favorite 2-player portable strategy game. And here's why. Now, first off, you get this nice little box. The little insert has a nice little cutout for a die. Very, very nice little addition there. That was really smart. But Strife's idea is really simple. You're going to be battling over locations. So, for example, here is Azure Pugno, I think is how you pronounce it. I'll probably say it wrong, and I'll slaughter it because I'm a dumb American, and that's the way I work. So this is a location, gives you 1 point, and this one tells you at the beginning of the combat phase, your battle champion gains 3 power. Now, you have 2 types of champions. You have a battle champion, you have a legacy champion. But the interesting thing about this game is each of us get the exact same deck. So we'll each get 2 necromancers. We'll each get 2 assassins. We'll each get 2 wizards. So when I say 2, you have 1 and I have 1. They do the exact same thing. And the interesting part about this is you're trying to play the player, or quid pro quo the player, and get to a position where you know that the character you're going to play is better than the characters they're going to be able to play. And it's very interesting because there's 2 abilities on each character. You have a battle champion and their battle ability. And then when they are done battling, they become your legacy champion, which becomes the top of your discard pile. Now, you would think that with just the one location, there's actually 3 locations that are laid out in front of you, but one location that you're fighting over, because you're only fighting over one, the one champion that you each choose to put at that location, and the one champion that's your legacy champion, that there's really only so many combinations you can do. That is completely false. This game has a massive amount of strategic combinations in the small amount of cards that it has, and that's why I absolutely love it. I've probably played 15 or 16 games of Strife, never had the same game happen twice. It is very different every game. The interactions between you and your opponent, the strategic choices you got to make of, do I give up this location to try and get that location? Do I manipulate the locations? Do I manipulate the legacy champion? Do I worry about what my champion's going to be next turn for my legacy ability? There's so many different things, and I love that. So Strife, I just cannot recommend it highly enough. I was extremely pleased when I got it recently from Kickstarter and the Kickstarter copy, but the regular copy I've been playing has been great, and this is just absolutely phenomenal. So check out Vision 3 Games, check out Strife, and I would definitely recommend following them because they're probably going to have some really good things coming up here as their ramp kind of continues up and to the right, so to speak. Okay, so let's talk about bigger games, like physically bigger games. All right, so something bigger. Let's talk Feld. So most of you may not know this because I don't talk about this on my show too much, and you're probably going to turn the channel off when I say this. I don't like Castles of Burgundy. It's not a bad game, okay? There's a big difference. There's a huge difference in that. I don't like it does not mean I think it's a bad game. It just means that I know what I like in a game, and it's not my cup of tea. Do I play it? Yes. Do I enjoy playing it? I enjoy the experience of playing it with my friends. Is it the first thing I will reach for on my shelf? No, probably not. But there are many Stefan Feld games that are really, really good. I want to talk about one that is quickly become my favorite Stefan Feld game and probably is going to stay my favorite Stefan Feld game for a while. This is from Tasty Minstrel Games, and it's called Aquasphere. Aquasphere, the theme is amazing. I love Wes Anderson. I love Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. And this is basically the board game for Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. It's not as snarky, it's not as comical, but the idea is that you're in this underwater laboratory. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you the back of the box here, but you have this laboratory where you're going to be using your workers, and you have a programming board where you're going to be programming them. The concept of this game is essentially worker placement to program bots to then worker place to execute those programs. I know that sounds confusing. It is the first time you see it. It is the first time you read it. But it is actually an amazingly simple game to pick up. In fact, once you get through one turn of Aquasphere, you're like, wow, okay, I got it. It's so intuitive, and I think that's one of the things I love about the game. There's a multitude of options. There's a multitude of strategies that you could go for. And in my opinion, in terms of all the Felds that I've played between like Bora Bora and Burgundy, it's just Amerigo, and the list goes on and on, this is probably the cleanest implementation of a design from him that I have just thoroughly enjoyed. It takes a while. It takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how many players you have playing the game. It is a great two-player game. There's actually some like dummy player pieces in the two-player game that will still give you that feel like you're playing a four-player game, but more importantly, they'll take up spots on the board, so your decisions are still kind of strategic, where you're trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to put everything? You have the ability to play subs, you have the ability to increase your lab, you have the ability to kill the evil and nasty and dastardly octopods. It's just fun. It's just really, really fun. And from a worker placement game, I'm really picky. I'm really picky when it comes to worker placement games. But this one has been a blast from a thematic standpoint because it's different. You're underwater, you're scientists, you're engineers, and you're killing octopods, you're collecting crystals. One of the really great mechanics inside of the game, there's a certain point in the scoring threshold, very much like... well, not much like that. Let me back up before I say that. So what happens is there's a line, and you can't cross the line on the scoring track unless you have a certain thing to give up from your resources. So you have to plan ahead, not just to get the most points, but you need to plan ahead to be able to acquire the points that you've accumulated. And I think that's a really cool mechanic. So Aquasphere, phenomenal. Most of you know I enjoy Tasty Minstrel games. There's some games they make that are great. There's some games they make that are good. This one is a great one, and I've really, really just superbly enjoyed this. This, right now, if I have to sit down and someone says, let's play a Feld, it is going to be Aquasphere. Now, as much as I like that, there's something else from worker placement that I want to talk about that's better. So what could be better? What could be crazier? This one is for a certain type of person, and I'm not going to lie to you. If you're a casual gamer, this is going to be a big step for you. But, in my opinion, and I will argue with anyone who wants to argue with me about this, Argent the Consortium, which is heavy. Argent the Consortium from Level 99 Games is the best worker placement game on the market right now. This game is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I love Brad. I love Level 99 Games. I love everything they do. I love Pixel Tactics. I love Noir. I love everything that they have done. BattleCon, of course, is classic. It really is, in my opinion. It is a great, great game. This, and I joked about it when I first played it. I played this game. It's set inside the world of It's set inside the world of the Indies, which is where the BattleCon characters kind of come from. The artwork fits that BattleCon feel, and it's amazing. It's just unbelievably amazing. So you have modular tiles. This is the first thing to talk about. You have modular tiles that set up the board. This is different every time you play. You can have predetermined ones. You can have random ones. You have wizards that you're going to be using to use as workers. But the different colored wizards and different modeled wizards do different things when you place them, or have different abilities when you place them. That is amazing. There's the ability to shadow spaces. There's the ability to bump people. There's the ability to get bonuses from bumping people. And ironically, this game, as you can hear, like, there's so much in this box. Argent the Consortium is long. It's about 30 to 40 minutes per player. And it is going to give you everything a worker placement game could ask for. You have influence and control. You have hidden agendas. You have workers that have abilities. You have different rooms that go off at different times. You have spells that you can increase the capabilities of and research them. You have treasures that can help you out along the way. There's so many different things that are just all brought into this game. And amazingly, the games are ridiculously close. The way the game is scored ultimately at the end is you're trying to gain votes from hidden board members on the Consortium. You're trying to become the next Consortium member. And at the beginning of the game, you only know 2 of them and what their criterias are. And throughout the course of the game, you're going to gain marks to try and obtain information about what the others want, which is your hidden objectives. You're never going to have enough to do everything. You're never going to be able to really focus on knowing everything, because if you do try to focus on knowing everything, you're not going to be able to have enough turns to do anything to achieve the objectives that you now know. So there's a little bit of gambling involved, and I love that. Argent, by Trey Chambers, he's a designer, great guy, played it at BGG 2013, and I told Brad, in my opinion, this is the game that could become like the foundation game. I know BattleCon is their foundation, and I understand that, but this game is so good. It's so superb. If somebody said to me, you're stuck on a desert island, you can only take one worker placement game with you, I'm taking Argent the Consortium, because there's so many different things and so many options that could happen throughout the game, and every game is different from so many different variables, but yet the strategic decisions are still there and they keep you richly engaged. I cannot say it enough. Argent the Consortium is my favorite worker placement game on the market, one of the best Kickstarters in the last year, and one of the best games that I've had on my table in a very long time. So I'm really, really happy about that. So, once again, really quickly, Strife, Legacy of the Eternals from Vision 3 Games, Aqua, Stefan Feld, and Tasty Minstrel Games, and Argent, this is heavy, Argent the Consortium from Trey Chambers and Level 99 Games. So, that's our 3 that we're bringing to you today on Critical Kicks. Let us know, are we right on? Have you gotten these? Do you love them? Have you gotten them? And did you not love them? And if so, why? Let us know about your gameplay experiences. Let us know about your Kickstarter experiences. We didn't talk too much about that in this video, but all 3 of these programs were actually run superbly well, and I really like that. So, let us know your thoughts. Leave a comment below in the YouTube channel. You can, of course, chime in on Facebook and Twitter by searching Crits Happen, or at the homepage at critshappen.com. But until I see you next time, I hope I will get everything fixed with the camera. You keep rolling those dice, and we hope they're all crits.